of a ambient hourglass ambient lighting type of feel. So if you're looking for that type of feel for less money, then definitely check out Luminoso. You know, so. Fantastico Mauve I like because I like purple lipstick, and I like to wear a blush, as you'll see today, that kind of lends itself to the purple lipstick without again being too matchy-matchy. I think a lot of times when you go too matchy-matchy, it can age you a little bit. So I like to use a mauve with a purple. I also like to use that blush with like a brown tone nude lip. Even though sometimes I can go super safe, for headshots and commercial auditions and different things like that, it's a really soft, beautiful, easygoing look, and it lends itself to being timeless. So it's not a trendy color at all, though it is beautiful and very, very useful. And then with a natural lip tone, just beautiful. Bellisimo bronze, for a while I wouldn't use as a blush. I would only use it as a bronzer. But what I do like about this, again, if you're scared of blush, I would say first, do your face, contour your face. I say contour because sometimes just a blush on a face that's not contoured can look misplaced. It can kind of distort the lighting as well and kind of make the eye curious. So sometimes a nice contour that fades into a blush just really, really helps everything look seamless and smooth. So Bellisimo bronze I love to use on top of a matte blush that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with. Even though I'm very rarely uncomfortable with a blush, I actually also like to give this tip to clients or when I'm doing their makeup and I put on a pink and they get really nervous. I use a little bit of bronzer to bring some warmth and some softness back to the face, because blush is one of those things that can really scare people. And I hate scaring people away from makeup because makeup is so fun. You just want everybody to enjoy it. Okay, so I'm a big fan of these rose blushes from Milani. I have 4 colors here, and I will also show you the swatches as well. I love these because these are also more of a matte consistency, and I love a matte blush because it gives me more control. If you give me a shimmery blush, I can use it in certain ways, but if you give me a matte, I can join it in combo and do all types of fun things. So the coral colors that you see, those are the type of colors that I love to use like coral liner with. Like I take one of the coral blushes on my cheek and then I take coral liner in here and I blend them together. So you'd have a matte blush that goes into a highlight, and it really helps to shape your face properly. Those are the type of things that I think really steps you out of, you know, a girl who kind of does her makeup and then a woman who's truly beating her face. You don't have to be a makeup artist in order to really truly beat your face. There's just a few little tips and tricks that you can utilize and it will take your makeup game so far. And incorporating mattes and shimmers and highlights and contours always just sets your face apart. Okay, so Band of Roses was one of my first MAC blushes. Well, it was one of my first MAC blushes and I really liked it. And I decided to purchase it because it came with 2 blushes. Now, I love both tones, both separate and together, and separate and together at the same time. Let me explain. So sometimes I like to mix them, and then sometimes I like to use the darker color into the lighter color. And then sometimes I only use the darker and sometimes I only use the lighter. Band of Roses is one of their mineralized blushes. So it does have that kind of nice light sheen to it, kind of reminiscent of a mineralized skin finish. So this blush also works really, really well wet as well as dry. Spring Sheen was definitely one of my favorite matte blushes for a while. I love corals, I love sheen. It's very springy, it's very pretty. It's just soft. It brings such a light, such a glow to your face. Again, this is a blush that looks great over a matte, harsh orange blush like maybe NARS Exhibit A with a little bit of spring sheen on top. Not only is it edgy and new and now, but it looks so great when you have a tan. If you are a lighter complected woman or if you're medium skin toned, then it's going to be a really, really great addition to your bronzer. And if you're deeper, such as myself, it's going to be such a contrast color that it's just going to bring so much warmth and so much beauty. It's just going to help to pick up and propel the beauty that's already within your skin. So I love colors that do that. And spring sheen and anything orangey, tanny, taupey, corally really, really helps. Not taupey, corally and orangey, but this is just a beautiful color. So next up we have Breezy. And Breezy again is one of those tones that I recommend for women who want a safe color, something that they're used to seeing other women wearing, something that lends itself to many different skin tones for many different reasons and seasons. Breezy again is one of those blushes that I would say is almost a holiday color because it's like a berry tone. It just reminds me of holiday time. It reminds me of warm sweaters and church. I don't know why. These wine tones just really bring me to a place of comfort. They're really pretty, and I think a lot of times that's why I don't wear them. I really like to push the envelope and kind of be edgy, but when I'm chilling and I just want to be soft and pretty, or if I'm going to see family, this is the type of blush I wear because it's just a beautiful, comforting color. And for people who don't like makeup, when they look at your face, they're not looking and thinking like, oh my God, so much makeup. It's just a really beautiful, nice, pretty tone. If black girls blushed, I think it would be somewhere within that kind of tonal range. Okay, so now we have Lovejoy. Now Lovejoy was one of those blushes that confused me for a while because I was like, what is this? What tone is this? It's kind of like a brownie. It's kind of taupey. It's kind of mushroomy in a way. And then when you look at the name, it says Lovejoy. So it kind of gives you that love glow, that very natural lit from within, especially if you're browner toned. That's the way I use it. On all over the cheek, on the apples, it really just gives you this glow from within, that kind of Lovejoy feeling, that oh glow, that in love type of spark. And then if you're a little bit lighter, if you're paler in tone, then it really helps to bring shape and structure to your face while still lending itself to being shimmery and pretty, approachable and soft. I'm a big fan of this blush and I'm going to start using it a lot more. So if you guys would like to see me using Lovejoy more in any of these blushes, then definitely give this video a big thumbs up. It would really help me a lot. So here are 3 colors from LA Girl, and I was really pleasantly surprised with these blushes. Not only are they soft and super pigmented, but they're so inexpensive. And these colors, all 3 of them, look fabulous on the skin. These are great blushes to give to girls who maybe are going from high school to college and they want some serious makeup to experiment with really great payoff and serious colors that are taken seriously, because a lot of brands, when it comes to starting out makeup, like, it kind of seems really kiddie, you know, especially if it's inexpensive. But I like these 3 colors. The orange, the more orange tone one in particular, is just gorgeous. And I love the fact that they are so pigmented and so inexpensive. A lot of times you get what you pay for, but here I definitely think you got a bargain. Okay, so Love Thing is definitely gorgeous. It is a berry tone, but it's not so pigmented or so red. And then there are some really subtle kind of goldy twinkles in there. It's absolutely a gorgeous color, and it's definitely a color that I want to start wearing more. It actually looked really good on my cheeks today, in fact. The next color that I'm showing you guys is Ambering Rose, and this color is so gorgeous. It was definitely one of my favorite blushes for quite some time. I would say probably through spring and summer of 2009, 10, I wore that blush a lot, and it sounds like what it is, or it's named how it's like an ambering rose. It's like somewhat of a rosy tone, but then it has this rust that kind of comes into play, kind of offering that amber color. And it's just, if you haven't had the chance to see this color in person, I definitely recommend you hightail yourself down to your MAC counter and check it out. And you guys know I'm not a MAC girl, I'm not all about MAC, but this is a beautiful color from them. When you look at the color, it's really tempting to think it's a coral or it's a rusty color, but it's so well infused. It's such a beautiful rose tone, and there's such a generous amount of amber in there that it's gorgeous. It's such a pretty tone. I'm a big fan. You guys gotta know how gorgeous that is. Okay, now this mystery tone here that has no label on it, I'm pretty sure that this is Raisin from MAC. And this was one of, you know, I'm honestly now looking at it, I think Raisin is a little bit deeper. I'm not positive what color this is. The tag is off, but this is a beautiful tone. I like this color because it is brown. You know what? Maybe this may be Raisin, or I'm not good at MAC tones. If you're good at MAC tones, please help me. I'll probably have the information available by the time this video goes up, but it's a really, really beautiful tone, and it's a natural tone blush that still has flair to it. It's not completely nude, it's not completely brown. It does offer somewhat of a plumminess to it. So it's really a great tone, especially if you like purple lips again. Okay, so now we come to the blush that I have on right now, and that's Dirty Plum from MAC. This is one of my favorite purple tones. It's beautiful, it's warm, it works good with pinks as well as other purples. It works good with plummy tones as well. You can wear so many different colors when you're wearing this blush. If you're daring and you really have everything blended well, this blush looks beautiful with a red. That looks beautiful during the holiday time or any time really, but I love it because then you can do a purple lined red lip, or you can do a purple lip with a little bit of a red to it, or just a warm purple, or any color. So many different combinations. And then on my highlight, I also have that blush coming up as well. So that Dirty Plum is kind of it's a matte finish, but it does have a slight, very slight, ever so faint reflective quality to it, but it does come out more matte. It's more in the pan that you can see the reflectiveness to it. This is Hollywood from LORAC, and this was one of my favorite blushes of all time for quite some time. If you watch my channel, maybe a few years ago when I got it, maybe even more than a few years ago. I've been doing YouTube ever since 2007, so I've had this blush for quite some time, and it was one of my first YouTube rave products, one of the first products that I used relentlessly. And I was a really big fan of this blush because I was just first getting into orange blushes, and I found this and just thought it was everything. And I still think it's everything. Actually, I'm getting so sad looking at some of these blushes because so many of my blush products I really don't use anymore. I really have gone really plain when it comes to makeup, but this is one of those blushes that you can dress up or dress down. You can use it as a bronzer or a highlighter. You can use it wet or dry. You can use it as eyeshadow. You can use it on your lips, on your cupid's bow. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in focus because I had to get up and empty my card. But big fan of this blush, and I will have links below so you can check that out.
Substance called life. Dreams fly away like birds in the winter. I'm the polar personified. Forget summer, besides only winter. Besides only winter. Only winter. I'm prepared for whatever may come, but life